So I'm officially Kenless and on my own, but it's time to drive the Model 3. Hey guys, this is Austin. The Tesla Model 3 is a big deal, so this promises to be one of the first mass-market electric cars, and I spent tonight at the launch event here in Fremont. First of all, huge shout out to Dan. He's the only reason I'm actually here right now, because he gave me a call like a few days ago. He's like, yo, do you want to come and check out the Model 3 event? So,
I needed somebody that has a good tech background.
And someone who can vlog?
Somebody that can vlog, that's a good holding that.
It's easy to forget just how big of a deal this is. So unlike something like the Model S, which starts at around $70,000, you can pick up a Model 3 for about $35,000, and that's before the tax breaks, which can bring it down even cheaper. They announced two models today, a standard as well as a long-range option. So the standard model will get you about 220 miles of range, where the long range gives you a pretty impressive 310 miles. So what's interesting is they're no longer branding it just like the Model S with the actual kilowatt hours, but most people are guessing that the base model is going to be around 50 kilowatt hours and about 70 for the long range. Quite a bit smaller than the Model S, but this is also a smaller and lighter car.
Because like Model S is already, and Tesla's made it clear, a superior car. So there's almost no reason for someone to go from Model S to Model 3.
Right, the Model 3 is the lower end entry level.
It's the entry level for people who wanted a Model S, couldn't quite get there, but now have this $35,000 option.
It does, however, look very, very similar to the Model S. Personally, I like the look. It's sort of like a mix between a shrunken Model S mixed with a little bit of Porsche Panamera. It's a little bit awkward in photos, and even video doesn't totally do it justice, but in person, I've got to say, especially from the rear sort of three-quarter view, it is a really nice looking car. I only wish it was maybe, dropped like an inch or so, but, we'll see. Inside, things are fairly basic. So my test drive was about at 10 o'clock at night, so it was kind of hard to see everything, but one thing that you can very easily see is the fact that the dash is basically just a single 15-inch screen. Now don't get me wrong, it's a nice looking display, and you do get pretty much all the information like your speedometer, you get your nav, all your climate controls, but that's pretty much it. There is no speedometer or anything in front of the driver. Now, on stage, Elon was talking about the idea that as things become more and more autonomous, that it doesn't really matter if you're actually looking at, all your gauges and stuff because the car will be driving itself. But as of right now, I'm not so sure how well that's going to work. You got to drive the Model 3.
I did.
I unfortunately just got a ride. What do you think?
I really liked it. I got really used to comparing all these cars I've been trying the last couple months to my car, and they're all super different.
Yeah.
Model 3, I sat in it, and it felt like a Tesla. Felt very familiar.
It is so quiet. I feel like it's quieter than the Model S, and the Model S is super, super silent.
They're both very quiet, and these have smaller wheels, so the ride's a little smoother, a little quieter. Yeah.
I unfortunately did 19 miles an hour on my test drive, so.
I think I hit 65.
So you drove it?
I drove it.
It's obviously not as fast as the Model S.
Right, it's not as quick, but like, the weird thing is when you stomp on that pedal, you still get that lurch forward, that immediate torque of an electric car, because it's electric. That's the benefit you get. So it still feels quick.
And we don't have an exact spec on how much power it provides, but essentially they're quoting somewhere between 5.2 to 5.6 seconds to 60, which is quick. At launch, they're only selling two-wheel drive cars, but in the not too distant future, you should be able to get a dual motor car with all-wheel drive, which I would assume is going to be a lot faster. However, don't expect this to be able to outrun a Model S anytime soon. That is still going to be over double the price, and I'm sure that they do not want it to get too close. The Model 3 does support autopilot, just like the Model S as well as the Model X, which means that essentially right now it can drive itself on the highway, but in the future you should be able to upgrade it to a nearly fully autonomous experience. They weren't showing off autopilot tonight, and the full autonomous version is definitely going to be a little ways out, but in theory, a Model 3 that you buy today has all the hardware that you need that you can drive from point to point without even having to touch any of the controls.
Sitting behind the wheel, you see more. Like the nose gets down and out of the way, where in Model S the nose is very much in your frontal peripheral.
And this is way smaller than a Model S. Way smaller.
It feels like 25% smaller on the outside, but on the inside, not
that bad. Not
so bad.
I only got to spend a little bit of time with the Model 3 tonight, but they are well on the way to shipping them. So Elon Musk claims that they're going to be shipping about 20,000 Model 3s a month by the end of the year. So if you've got that pre-order in, they're actually going to be coming fairly soon. So what do you guys think about the Tesla Model 3? Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next one.